So I'd like to switch gears. There's a lot of activity today, and I'd like to invite you all to just close your eyes for a moment. And just let yourself arrive. So letting go of everything that came earlier today. And if you can, let go of all the thoughts about all the food you're about to eat. Just let yourself arrive. Connecting with your breath. Connecting with each inhale, each exhale. Noticing where the breath naturally goes in your body and where it leaves. So in this process of watching your breath, just starting to drop away from your thoughts and expectations and drop into your heart. On your next inhale, breathe past the place where your breath usually stops. So here you're breathing into the unknown. Just expanding a little bit more fully. And exhale completely. And from this place, I'd like to dedicate today's talk to all our relations and to Raymond. This is called The Story Behind the Story. And I'd like to warm up with a quote from Michael Meade. He's a storyteller. And this is from a book of his called Why the World Doesn't End. An old idea suggests that the world inside us is greater than the world we see around us. That each person is a cosmos with all the stars hidden inside. The individual soul can be seen and held as a microcosm, a little world and realm unto itself. If penetrated deeply enough, it might turn inside out and become the living thread to the soul of the world. In losing the soulful ways of connection, we risk losing what relates us to great nature on one hand, and the eternal realm and touch of the divine on the other. Amidst the modern fascination with newness and things that move faster and faster, there is something older and wiser trying to catch up with us. Only if we can manage to stop in time and let the old soul within us catch up, he can help us, or she can help us find a way through the growing darkness. So that's from Michael Meade. There's a big story out there. We hear about it daily and we feel it in our bones. I don't need to give examples about the growing darkness, the human violence, economic collapse, and ecological catastrophe, as the media has these topics well covered. What is less covered, and very much alive, is that there is another story, just as potent and perhaps more powerful than the one of destruction fueled by fear. And that is the story of ongoing creation, inspirited by love. As many of you know, last winter I went into a 3-month silent retreat, which I began on winter solstice 2012, the date the Mayans prophesied as the end of the world as we know it. What most of you don't know is why I chose to go into retreat and what occurred during that time. The feeling sense I had during the months preceding my retreat was I had to do this or die. The feeling was that strong. I was in a lot of pain throughout my whole body, but specifically I was experiencing a sharp pain in my heart that just got worse and worse and lasted for several months. The thoughts that started coming in around my need to retreat were that I had to discover another way of being in these times. That the fight I've been fighting for Earth and another way of living is the fight the mainstream system has enticed me into. And that fight was going to kill me, literally. Soon into my retreat, I had a powerful dream. I dreamt that there is a great storm, a terrifying storm. At first, I'm inside a house witnessing lightning fill up the room, and then I'm outside in an alleyway, and a presence grabs me from behind. First my right arm, then my left arm. Utter terror overtakes me as I realize no one is there. This presence is invisible. I can't scream, and I know this presence is going to kill me. In the dream, I realize I'm dreaming and that to save my life, I have to wake myself up. In waking up, I'm aware of the presence leaving my body, letting go of my body. And I feel this happen, and I feel clear and very much awake. What I carried from that dream is that I've been living in a societally created nightmare that I have the power to wake myself up from, and that we all can. Because the story that is playing out in the world is a nightmare. And as long as we stay asleep, that nightmare serves as the only reality. But in waking up from the nightmare, with our eyes wide open, we can observe that the creative forces of nature are still very much alive and present. And each flower who opens in spring, each bird who sings his eternal song, and the rising of sun and the rushing of water, and the eagles returning in early winter, and the geese in late winter, and the deer who gives birth to the fawn. As Michael Meade said, we need to stop in time and slow downwards, so that the old soul within us can catch up to guide us. While our minds may have the capability to keep up with the technological age, our bodies are still primitive. Our body connects with our soul through our hearts and through our dreams and through nature and the mystery. In this modern age, we've confused a lot of information with knowledge and believe that the more information we can acquire, that the more we know. What actually happens is that we're exchanging information for direct experience. We live in a culture that dwells on the experiences of others and trusts what science says is fact. We're insatiable for more information to the point where we don't even question whether or not it's true. All of this leaves me with the question of, are we too busy to have our own direct experience of life?